actually start today lying down. So we're gonna lie down in a lying down butterfly pose. So you can start out with your feet together, just lying down in the center of the mat. And we'll just spend a few breaths here in this lying down butterfly pose, one hand on your belly, one hand on your breath. And just taking a few moments to just kind of breathe, time to just disconnect from the outside world and really just starting to turn inward. Take a moment here to just remind yourself of something positive, something you're grateful for. And then from here, you can open your eyes if your eyes are closed. You can close your knees. We're going to press our palms into the mat. All right, so we're basically going to set up for a bridge. So your heels are in towards you, distance apart. We're going to lift up for the count of 2, lower down for the count of 2, and we're going to do it for about a minute. So it's going to be an up, squeeze the glutes at the top, and a down, down to hover, up, down, just really warming up the glutes. With your breath, maybe inhaling partway through the exercise, exhaling the other part of the way through the exercise. Let's do 5 more, just going at your own pace. On your last one, I want you to hold that bridge up at the top, press the palms into the mat, and we're going to march. So we're going to bring our knee over our hip, flexing that foot, and then bring that foot back down, bring the other knee over the hip, flexing that foot back down. So you want to stabilize the core. You're only moving the legs. Moving with your breath. It comes right up over the hip. Keeping that foot flexed to just keep that leg engaged. During this kind of Pilates section, you can inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. All right, let's do 2 more on each side. And then last one, I want you to go ahead and hold it up there. Come up onto your tiptoes, and we're going to pulse. Pulse it, little baby pulses. We're going to go for 10, 7, 6, 5, 3, 1. Drop the heels down, lower down. Take your feet out wide, and we're going to windshield wiper our knees side to side a few times. All right. From here, we're going to add on, getting a little bit more into the abs. So you're going to interlace your hands behind your back, elbows out wide. We're going to lift up our head, neck, and shoulders here. All right, so we're going to lift one leg up into a tabletop. We're going to do the first few slow, knees over your hips. You're going to straighten that leg, point the toe, bring it back into a tabletop, and press it down. The other side, lift that leg up, tabletop, straighten it out, bring it back in, press it back down. Lift the shoulders up a little bit higher. We're just going to continue. So going at your own pace. You're getting more into the core with this one by keeping the shoulders lifted up nice and high. If at any point you need a little bit of a break or it gets too much for your neck, you can always just drop the head back down and do the same movement with your legs without the shoulders lifted. So just kind of getting into a rhythm. Pointing the toe this time to engage the leg. Reminding yourself to bring the shoulders up nice and high. Good job. Inhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Really firing up that core. We're going to do a few more. Okay, let's do one more on each side. And after your last one, just go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest, just taking a little break. Good. Side to side for a few breaths. All right. From here, place your feet down, distance apart, heels in towards you. We're going to lift up into a bridge, and we're going to do hip dips. So you're going to bring your hips up and over to the right, bring them down through to the center, up and over to the left. Or to the right, up and over to the left, squeezing your glute as you come up. Really kind of working the glutes right now. Let's do 10 more, so that's only 5 on each side. So we'll go for 10. 9, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower down. Stretch it out with a figure 4 stretch. So you can take the right ankle above the knee and release your hand behind that thigh or on top of that calf. Relax the head down, and we're just stretching out the right hip and the right glute, energetically pressing that right knee out to the side. Two more deep breaths here. And then go ahead and release, and we're just going to switch sides. Just the opposite ankle over that knee. Energetically pressing that left knee out to the side, just coming back to your yoga breath here. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. All right, from there you can release. I have to kind of get rid of the toys because the dogs want to play right now. All right, here we're going to work our legs. So start with your knees bent. We're going to take our right leg up towards the sky, palms are down, and we're going to start to do leg circles. So we're doing medium wide circles. It doesn't matter which direction you start. The toe to try to really engage the leg. And keep your core stable, everything stable, just moving the leg. Here we're going to do smaller circles. So we're doing about 10 small circles. 10, 9, 8, good, 7, 6, 4, 1. We're switching directions. 10 medium circles in the other direction. Really feeling that burn. Good. And then once you've done 10, we're going to do 10 baby circles in that direction. 5 more. 4, 3, 1. Just hug that knee in towards your chest. Stretch it out a little bit. All right, and we're going to switch sides. So placing that foot on the mat, opposite leg comes up towards the ceiling, and then just start moving in medium circles, keeping the core stable, just moving the leg, pointing the toe to really engage the leg, medium circles. 3 more, 3, 2, 1, baby circles in that same direction, about 10. 3, 2, 1, switch directions, 10 medium circles, opposite direction. 3, 2, 1, 10 baby circles. This is our last set. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just hug that knee in towards the chest. Take a little break, stretch it out. Right. So single leg circles. Next, we're doing double leg circles. So that is both legs, and we're kind of going to make a figure 8. So we'll go through the first 1 or 2 slow. You can press the palms down. Keep the feet glued together. Point the toes. Option, you can have a little bend in the knees if you want, but we're lifting the lower back up off the mat and going up and over to the right, coming back down, and then up and over to the left. So making that figure 8, up and over to the right, up and over to the left. We're doing about 10 total, so about 8 more. And you're working the lower abs as you lift your lower back off of the mat, keeping those legs glued together. Palms down, all movements. About 3 more figure 8s, so 3 more on each side. Do 1 more. All right, good. Just hug your knees in towards your chest. Actually, let's come into a happy baby pose from here. So reaching for the outsides of your feet, and we're just going to rock side to side a few times. All right, from here, hug your knees in towards your chest. We're going to roll forward and back along our spine about 3 or 4 times with control, eventually making our way all the way up to a seat. After your last one, coming all the way up to our seat, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees and just journey around the cat-cow pose. So spreading out your fingers, hands on your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to inhale to drop the belly like this, tailbone look up, and then exhale, round your back. So just kind of warming up the spine, coming a little bit back into yoga. All right, very good. Michelle, I'm just going to try to mute your mic for you because I see you just joined. All right. So rounded cat-cow. From here, we're going to come to beast pose. So you're going to round your shoulders, knees under your hips, tuck the toes, and you're going to lift the hips a couple inches off the mat. No, sorry, knees are just lifted an inch or 2 off the mat. You're just holding it here. Drawing the shoulder blades apart. Good. Bring the knees back down. All right, we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to tap the knees up and down. So draw the shoulders apart, lift up through the core, lift the knees up, and then you're going to lift them up about another inch higher, and then lower them down. We're doing about 10. So lift and lower just with the knees. Really nice strong core, strong shoulders. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. We're just going to take a little break. So sit back to a child's pose, and then we're going to add on doing another variation of that pose. All right, I had to put the dogs outside for a little bit. All right, so we're coming back into beast pose, spreading out the fingers, lifting the knees up, maybe like 2 inches off the mat. Draw the shoulders apart, then we're going to step 1 foot back to a plank, and then bring that knee back into hover. Step the other foot back, kind of like a plank, bring that knee into hover. So we're going to continue this And shoulders apart. This should stretch you off the mat right underneath the hips. Keep going. All right, let's do 10 more. Only 5 on each side. 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, last one. Good job. Let's take a child's pose here. Just sit back, relax, bring the forehead down, reach out nice and long. A little bit more core work. We're going to come to a forearm plank. So you're going to come down to your forearms, spread out the fingers for your shoulders. One foot out long, then the other. Draw the shoulder blades apart. Ground through the hands. So almost grip through the hands. From plank. So option to stay here, or you can walk your feet in coming to a dolphin pose. So dolphin pose gets a little bit more into the shoulders and a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. Your chin's towards your chest. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then from here, you can lower back onto your hands and knees. Let's take a child's pose this time. You can bring your hands behind your back, palms up, or palms on the mat, or palms up, hands on the mat. All right, good. Maybe grab a drink of water, and then we're going to go through some yoga flows. So whenever you're ready, we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog. So spreading out the fingers, tucking the toes, lift the hips up and back, and just stretch it out here. Heel join the feet for a few breaths, waking up your legs. And then we're going to walk the feet up to the hands, coming to a forward fold. Lifting up through the hips, relaxing the head down, feeling that nice stretch in the back of your legs. Spreading out the toes, grounding through your feet. And then inhale to come to a half lift. So draw your shoulders back, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward a little bit deeper. And then next inhale, we're going to find length in our arms to make our way all the way up to extended mountain pose. Good. Reaching up nice and tall. Let's interlace the hands. We're going to come to a side stretch. So we're going to first stretch up and over. Side. Straightening the arms. Deep breaths. And then make your way back up through to the center, up and over to the other side. Good. And then coming back through to the center, a little bit of a back bend. So keeping the hips over top of the feet, looking up, maybe looking back a little bit. And slowly making your way up. So from here, we're going to move through a sun salutation flow. So coming to the top of your mat, we'll inhale, reach up. Fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Bend your knees, put your hands, step back to a plank. Lower down nice and slow to an up dog or cobra pose. And then exhale to make your way back into downward facing dog. So we're going to add on, so we're going to come to a three-legged down dog here. Reach your right leg up, stretch it out, heels up towards the ceiling, crossing your chest towards your upper thigh. Deep breath. And then we're going to bring that right foot through between our hands. Doesn't make it, grab the ankle, bring it up. Spin the back heel down, and we're setting up for warrior two. So when you're ready, we're gonna make our way up. Relax the shoulders down. We want a nice bend in that front knee, so you can always straighten it out and then work towards getting that knee over top of the ankle, relaxing the shoulders. You want to make sure you're not leaning forward, that your torso is still in the middle. Good, looking towards your right fingers. We're going to flip our front palm up, back hand down, reach up and back, a reverse warrior. Coming back to warrior two, we're going to straighten that front leg, step the back foot in just a little bit, so a shorter stance for triangle pose. So you're going to reach that right arm forward, coming forward as far as you can, and then you can either bring the hand down to the shin, long straight line between the arms, or maybe the fingertips all the way down to the mat. Pressing your weight towards the bottom hip as you spin that top hip open. Press. All right, from here, take that top hand, bring it towards your hips. We're going to bend that front leg, step that back foot in a little bit. We're going to come to half moon pose. This is a balancing pose. So you're going to bring the fingertips in front of the foot, lift that back foot up, flex the foot, open up the hip. Keep your gaze down to the mat for more stability. Like I said, this is a balancing pose, super challenging. Maybe lift that top arm up so you feel stable. Flex that foot that's up in the air. Deep breath. All right, we're going to step that back foot back and go through a vinyasa. So stepping in both feet back to a plank, lowering down through to an up dog or cobra pose. Coming back into downward facing dog, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So whenever you're ready, coming to a three-legged down dog. Left leg reaches up, stretch it out, nice stretch, foot up towards the sky. And then you're gonna bring that foot through between your hands, spin the back heel down. Just gonna turn the other way so I can face you guys. And then make your way up to warrior two. So for warrior two, relax the shoulders. Your front heel is about in the middle of your back foot. In that front knee, and then work towards getting a nice bend in that knee. Really squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, so working those legs nice and hard. Inhales and exhales through the nose. And then flip your front palm up, back hand down the back leg, reach up and back, keeping that nice bend in the front knee. Back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, step your back foot in a little bit, so a little bit shorter stance. We're setting up for triangle pose. So reach forward as far as you can, and then you can drop that hand down to the shin, maybe all the way to the mat. Straight line between the arms. Spin that top hip open, good. Deep breath, lifting up through your core, so you're not dumping too much weight in the bottom hand or the bottom fingers. From here, take that top hand to your hip, bend that standing leg, step the back foot in about halfway, take your left fingertips in front of that foot. We're going to lift that back foot up maybe just a few inches to start with, and you're working towards lifting it up higher. Keep your gaze down towards the mat for more stability. And this is a balancing pose, so don't be surprised if this is hard and you wobble over. Maybe reach that top arm up. Deep breath. Good. And then step back. We're going to go through a vinyasa again, stepping both feet back to a plank. Lowering down to an up dog or cobra. Into downward facing dog. We're going to come to a three-legged down dog again. This time bending at the knee, opening the hip. Pressing that back foot. Bend the knee, reach it up, stretch it out. Bring that right knee into your chest high and bring that right foot through between your hands. Send that back knee down and back. We're going to come to a twist. So left hand is wide next to that foot, right hand to right knee. Look over that right shoulder, reach up, twist. And you can bring that hand down. We're going to walk the hand back, coming to a half splits pose. Working towards straightening that front knee, but it doesn't need to be straight. The hips, so think right hip back, left hip forward, folding forward towards that front knee and really stretching out, feeling that nice stretch under the right hamstring. Good, and then coming forward, we're going to come to lizard pose. So take that right foot over to the right. Take both hands inside that foot. So maybe staying up here, up high is an option. Or if you want to try to go a little bit deeper, you're going to bring one forearm down. I'm going to check in. Maybe bring both forearms down. Okay. Getting a little bit deeper into the hip stretch. And then you can come back up onto your hands. And we're just going to step that leg back. Coming to a brief child's pose. You can grab a drink of water here if you want. And then we'll set up for the other side. So whenever you're ready, we're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. To a three-legged down dog. Lift that left leg up, bend at the knee, open up the hip. Really stretch it out. Reach it up high. Flex that back foot. And then you're going to bring that knee high to the chest, that foot through between your hands. Drop your back knee down and back. That wide in line with your foot, and we're going to set up for the twist. Left hand to left knee, looking over that left shoulder, twisting, maybe reaching that arm up. You can bring that hand back down, and we're going to move our way towards the half splits pose. So you're walking your hands back, straightening out that front leg. You're just kind of working towards straightening that front leg. Bring the hips, left hip back, right hip forward, folding forward towards that front knee. And then you can come forward again. Move the left foot a little bit more to the left. Both hands inside. Our lizard pose. Maybe staying up high on both hands. Or you could bring one forearm down. Kind of see how that feels. If that feels okay, keep it there. Or if you want to go deeper, that's fine too. Coming back to your yoga breath. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. And then you can make your way back up onto your hands, back onto your hands and knees. You can grab a drink of water, and then we're going to set up for some side work. Side you start on, so you can start on whatever side you want. All right, so for our side work to set up, we're going to be on our forearm. So you want to make sure your elbows under your shoulders. Your knees are going to be bent a little bit in front of you. So you actually want your heels kind of like in line with your hips, which is in line with your shoulders. So it's going to be heels, hips, shoulders. Make sure your belly's not like dumping down, or your side's not dumping down. You can take your hand and make sure it's lifted up, so a nice strong frame. Your other hand can be to your hip. So we're just going to start out just easy. So we're just going to take that top leg, open it up, and then close it. We'll do that one more time, but we're going to add on. So on the next one, we're going to lift our hip up as we open up that knee, and then when you come down, everything comes down. So lifting the hip up, opening that knee, and then bringing everything down. The knee and hip at the same time up, knee and hip at the same time down. Good. So inhaling halfway through the exercise, exhaling the other half of the way through. We're doing, I'll count on the last 8 or so. Slow with intention. 8 more. So for 8. 6, you should be really feeling it in that hip. 6. Only 4 more. 3. 2. The last one we're going to hold up here. Either hold it or maybe straighten that top leg for 5. 4, 3, 1. Release. All right. Let's come up and just stretch it out. So we're going to come up to a seat. Take your foot to that knee, other knee out to the side. Reach that arm up and over to the side, and then kind of we're going to twist, reaching forward. Good. Stretching it out a little bit. All right, and then we have the same thing on the other side. So just set yourself up for the other side, and we'll take our time to really set up properly. Or if anytime you need to in that exercise, just adjust your setup. You want a strong frame, so strong shoulder, elbows under your shoulder. Bend the knees a little bit, like bring them then in towards you, and your heels, your hips, your shoulders should try to be in line. Top hand up, or actually make sure you're not dumping your ribs down. Everything's pulled up. And then we'll just start out 1 or 2, just opening and closing the knee, kind of like a prep. And then next time we're going to lift everything up and lower everything down. So the knee comes up, the hip comes up at the same time. Takes a lot of strength in that shoulder, but we're also really working the hip as well. Focusing on your breath, so with control. Inhaling part way through, so either on the way up or the way down, and exhaling the other part of the way. Eight more. 7. 4. 3. 2. Go ahead and hold it up there on that last one. Maybe straighten that leg out for 5. 3. 1. Release. Good job. Yeah, let's stretch it out. So bringing that foot towards the knee, the other foot out towards the side. Pushing in the opposite direction, reaching up and over. All right, from here we're going to come onto our belly. So coming onto your stomach. All right, we're going to do a little Pilates upper body and lower body work, and then we'll combine them both together. So you're going to have your hands in front of you, and you're going to bring your forehead on top of your hands, and we're just going to do just raise our upper body. It doesn't need to be super high. You want to keep your hands so your spine's in line. Kind of strengthening the back, the upper body. Yep, maybe exhaling on the way down. Do 5 more. 4, 3. And you can just relax your forehead on your hands, and we're going to do the lower body. So point the toes to engage the legs, and then lift both feet at the same time, and then lower them. Keeping the hips rooted down onto the mat, we're just lifting and lowering the legs. And your lower back this time, a little bit more, strengthening it. Let's do 5 more. 1. Just relax on your belly for 2 or 3 breaths. All right, we're going to combine both those moves together, upper and lower body at the same time. So reach your arms out long. We're going to do Supermans. We're going to try to do about 8 to 10. Legs out long. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, lower down. Lift everything up and pause. Exhale, lower down. Let's do 7 more. Inhale, pausing at the top. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Go ahead, just relax on your belly for a few more breaths. So let's come up onto our forearms. We're going to take a little bit of a quad stretch. This is called half round pose. So you can bend one knee back, doesn't matter which one. Reach your hand for the top of that foot. The other hand can kind of come across the diagonal. And you're going to press the heel in towards the glute, stretching out your quad. Either staying up high on your forearm, or if you prefer, you could bring the forehead down a little bit lower. Just getting a nice quad stretch here. One more deep breath. And you can release that leg. We'll bend both knees. Let's just windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times. Switch sides. So just bending that other knee. Reach your hand back, pressing the glute in, or the heel in towards your glute. More deep breath. You can make your way up to a seat, and we're going to do a little bit of seated work. All right, we're going to set up for a forward fold to start with. So you can take your feet out long in front of you, draw your shoulders back, and let's just sit up nice and tall, just kind of stacking your spine, maybe flexing your feet in front of you. So we're going to inhale, reach our arms up, and then exhale, hinge from your hips. Reach, reach, reach forward, coming to a forward fold. Kind of settling in here, about 5 deep breaths. Inhale, lift your head and chest up. Exhale, come up the whole way. We're going to come to a reverse tabletop. So bend your knees, heels in towards you, hands behind you. Lift your hips up nice and high. Drop your head back. Then lower down. All right, we're going to do a little arm work. So we're going to do tricep dips. Start out a little bit easier and then add on. So hands behind you, fingers facing you, knees bent, heels in towards you. And we're just going to start out bending elbows back and then straightening the elbows. Bend straight back, hand under your shoulders. These ones maybe should feel kind of easy, at least easy right now, but we're going to add on. Let's do 3 more from here. Option, you can always come back to this option, but we're going to make it a little bit harder. So you're going to flex the feet, lift the hips up, same thing, but the hips stay up off of the mat the whole time. Do 8, 6, I have to go at my pace, 4, 2, good, 1. From here, we're going to add on 8 more. This time, option to come up onto the toes, lift the hips up again, and then bend the elbows back and up. If it's too hard, don't stop. Just bring the hips down, bend and extend the elbows. Do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Stretch out the arms. Let's just bring one arm across, stretch it out. Which one? And then we'll reach up, bend the elbow back. This is stretching out that tricep muscle here that we just. And let's just go ahead and stretch out the arms on the other side. So just bringing the opposite arm across, straighten the shoulder back. Reach that arm up, bend at the elbow, elbow up towards the sky. Try not to round too much, trying to keep everything lifted, your head and neutral. And that nice stretch in the tricep muscle. You can release. From here, grab a drink of water because we're going to be making our way onto our back for the last part of class. Now we're going to be doing a few roll downs. So using our core to start with a few times. To start with our legs out long, kind of towards the front of our mat. And then we'll inhale, reach our arms up, point our toes. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your back. You're going to lower your arms down as you start to roll down. And you want to try to move nice and slow, trying to use your core instead of just letting gravity take over. And then once you're all the way down, reach the arms up overhead. Take a nice long stretch from your fingertips all the way through your toes. We're going to inhale, exhale, lift your arms, head, neck, shoulders. Use the arms to help get yourself up there. And then once you're up, inhale, reach up, exhale, start to round, lowering your arms. Nice and slow, think vertebrae by vertebrae, using the core. And then once you're down, just stretching it out. Inhale, exhale, arms, head, neck, shoulders. And then once you're up, inhale, stretch it up. Roll down again, taking your time. Wait, this is going to be our last one. Inhale, make your way up. And then our last one on the way down. So rolling down, and then this time we're going to stay down. Long stretch, reach the arms up overhead. we're going to do a little bit of core work. We're going to start with a basic crunch. So you can bend your knees, heel in towards you, feet about hips distance apart, hands behind your head, elbows out wide. Inhale. Exhale, lift up head, neck, chest, and lower down. We're going to go slow through these crunches, kind of pausing at the top. You want to really feel it through your inner abs, keeping the elbows out wide. We're only doing about 8 to 10 of these. At the top of your crunch as high as you can, seeing if you can make your inner abs shake to know that you're really accessing them. You're really working hard. Shoulders up nice and high. Do 4 more. Playing through the nose, through the mouth on your way up. Last one. You can keep your head relaxed down, palms down by the side. This time we're going to work our lower abs. So we're just moving our legs only. So your knees are going to come up to a tabletop. You're going to keep your core stable, and then you're going to straighten the legs out about 45 degrees, and then bring the knees back in through to a tabletop. Pointing the toes, in the legs together. Feel this a little bit more in your lower belly, your lower abs. Inhaling, partway through the exercise. Exhale, the other partway through the exercise. More. Everything's with control, nice and slow. 3. Last one. And then go ahead and just take the feet out wide, and you can windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times. Great. From here, we're going to do V crunches. If you want, kind of come up onto your forearms to watch me so you can see me through the first set. So we're going to have our legs up to a V. We're going to open, squeeze to close, and then once we close, we're lifting up, and we're going to scissor for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, open, squeeze, close the legs, lift the arms, lift the shoulders, head up, and we're going to scissor for 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs lower down, close the legs, lift everything up, scissor 4, 3, 2. Open the legs, lower down, squeeze at the top, reach the arms up, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, keep going, opening, pointing the toes, squeeze, lift up, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 3 more sets. Moving on your own this time. And into the abs as you reach the shoulders up on those little scissor movements. Let's do 1 more. So when you're done, we're going to keep the legs up so you can relax the head down. Keep the legs up, maybe a little bend in your knees if you want. Reach the arms up, reach the shoulders up. Actually, arms come to the side, and we're going to side crunch. So reach and pull side to side, working the obliques. Keep breathing, keep the shoulders lifted. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 6, 3, 1. Good. Just hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock side to side, or just move in a little circle. Great. Let's go ahead and stretch it out a little bit from here. So we're just going to start with a hamstring stretch. You can keep that left leg bent, straighten the right leg, interlacing your hands behind the thigh or behind the right ankle or calf, just gently pulling that right leg down towards you. Back to your yoga breath. From here, lift your forehead up, bringing it a little bit closer to the knee, just going a little bit deeper in the stretch. You can bend that knee back in towards your chest. And we're going to switch sides. So bringing that left knee in towards your chest, like interlacing your hand behind it, or the calf or the ankle. You can bring your forehead up. So your forehead's closer towards, or getting a little bit deeper, closer to the knee. Then bending the knee in towards the chest. Right. From here, option to either come into a happy baby pose, or you could do plow pose for your back. So plow pose, you're going to lift the legs up, roll, kind of rolling back onto your shoulders. Maybe interlacing the hands, chin towards the chest. If this does not look like something you want to do, just come into a happy baby pose. From here, we're going to just slowly make our way out of the pose. Bring your knee in towards your chest. You can take your arms out to the side. Take both knees over to one side, little twist, kind of just a hover, and then bring them back up through to the center. Both knees towards the other side, and then up, just a hover, and then bring them back up through to the center. Using your core to kind of bring the knees back up to the center each time. Just a few more times. Do one more on each side. And from here, just go ahead and straighten out your legs. Take your hands by your side. Allow yourself to lie flat on your back. We're just going to do about a 1-minute Shavasana. So just giving yourself that time to just let your back just completely relax. Lie flat. Body just release and melt into the mat. Letting go of any tension. In a place of stillness. To just a regular breath, not trying to control it in any way. From here, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Roll your ankles out. Roll your wrists out a few times. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Stretch your arms up overhead. Onto one side, pausing for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, take your time to make your way all the way up to a seat. Great. Finish by bringing our hands to our heart center. Take one more deep inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale to press the palms together, bringing the hands back down. In a moment here to kind of just reflect on your practice. A little bit more peaceful. Thanking yourself for taking the time to
do something good for your body, for your mind tonight, and just allowing the positive energy that you feel from class to be a benefit to yourself and the people around you throughout the evening and throughout the day tomorrow. 8. Unmute your mic.